what we hope that will accomplish is that you'll have gold, an actual spot priced contract in gold that trades in China, that will have its own price fix every day. And then you'll be able to compare that to this paper gold contract that gets a price fix in London twice a day and a price fix in New York once a day. And if there's this major discrepancy between the physical price and the paper price, that discrepancy will be closed naturally by arbitrage. And that will eventually serve to change that dynamic, because, and this is a line of Ned Naylor Leyland's, what you have now is you have his analogy or his metaphor is the tail wagging the dog, and that the bigger part of the puzzle is the spot, is the actual physical price of gold. That's the dog. The tail is the futures market, and it's the wiggles of the futures market that affect the spot price. And that's not how it should work. It's the actual value of that spot metal and what you can get for. I mean, that is your price discovery. It's not what the monkeys decide is today's price on the COMEX. So if we can have a true physical metal exchange and say, and here's and for the people that don't, arbitrage is this kind of money management term that a lot of people don't know what that means. What I mean by that is, say the value of gold on the spot exchange in Kunming City is $2,000 an ounce, but the price that you're getting that it's trading at in London is $1,800 an ounce. Then the arbitrage is the meeting of those two prices, and that you can buy gold and take delivery of it at $1,800 an ounce in London. And then you can march that gold over to China and sell it at $2,000 an ounce. And by buying in one place and selling in another, those two prices eventually merge. Maybe, for simplicity's sake, at 1900. Now, there's also this physical movement that may serve to bankrupt those exchanges, because you're taking that physical that's in the inventory in London or in New York, and you're taking delivery of it, and you're putting it on a boat and taking it over to China and selling it there at this higher price. Now, you can imagine why the Chinese are doing that, and that kind of would get back to the currency questions we were talking about earlier as to why the Chinese are looking to accumulate gold. But that may have that. I'm very optimistic that is going to have a significant, substantial impact on this whole price discovery madness that we've found ourselves in, because there's no other way to do it at this point. So hopefully that will change things as we get going. I spoke for so long, I don't even remember what the hell the question was. Oh. So did I answer?
Okay. We were talking. Yeah. Oh, you sure did.
Okay.
Once again, thank you so much for your words of wisdom. And now I'd like to move forward to Mr. McLaren.
Okay, Turd. We're going to get into something a little bit heavier here. You closed your October 17th blog posting with this comment, quote, "Again, please spend some time considering both sides of the Keynesian argument. Just because I say, quote, the end is upon us, end quote, doesn't make it so. I could, gasp, be wrong.
That could.
You must research and consider the facts yourself. Come to your own conclusions, act and prepare accordingly," end quote. While your website focuses on the end of the great Keynesian experiment, I'd like to get your perspective on a potentially new monetarist experiment based on Milton Friedman's quantity theory of money. In the area of the blogosphere and from various monetary reformers, there is the so-called modern monetary theory, MMT, that's being proposed. Awareness of this concept is being raised by journalist, author, and filmmaker Bill Still in his film The Secret of Oz. And the bloggers range from Edward Harrison of Credit Write-Downs to Australian economist Billy Mitchell writing at his Billy blog and Colin Roach over at Pragmatic Capitalism. They're doing educational work in this area and are promoting the concept. Also, noted academics Michael Hudson and William K. Black and the writers at New Economic Perspectives are doing a sequential series on it. Have you dug into this at all, and what are your thoughts, if any?
Good heavens. That is a question. Yes. First of all, I would just want to reemphasize what I said on that blog posting a couple of weeks ago. Educate yourself. I think I know what I think I know, but that's only because I took time to educate myself about what was going on around me. And so I encourage everybody to use TF Metals Report as one of hopefully many sources as they try to figure out what's going on in the world. Modern monetary theory, I don't know a lot about it, but from what I do know, that's kind of a Keynesian theory in itself, isn't it? Kind of? In that, I'm asking that question back. I mean,
yes and no.
The idea behind it is that the government is this kind of this self-contained little thing, big thing, that can print money and fund its own debts almost to infinity.
That's kind of the essence of it. It's that as a sovereign entity, the government or of the United States or any other nation for that matter doesn't need to borrow its money into existence. It can simply print it and spend it.
I'm sorry. I think that's bullshit. Excuse me. I think that's crap. That's nonsense.
Okay, we know what your thoughts on that are.
Yeah, that the Weimar Germany worked out great following that same idea. The French in the late 18th century, they tried the same. It doesn't work. It assumes this little static, perfect little pie, a closed system. And we're anything but a closed. I mean, with the free flow of funds globally, to say that any government has that ability, even the U.S., as the global reserve currency, has that ability to fund itself, and that there are not negative impacts of that. I just think it's terribly short-sighted. I put that in the problem that we have. And I'm sorry, we get off on a tangent a little bit, but the problem that I see us having in general right now, particularly in the U.S., is that there's nobody around that has any kind of power, in charge, if you will, that has any other experience other than when the U.S. wasn't this hegemonic superpower. Nobody in a position of authority has any experience to 1932, because those people are all dead at this point. And so the only basis that anybody has for their rationale and their worldview is this U.S. hegemon, that's the world reserve currency post Bretton Woods. Well, that's not the way the world has always been, and that's not the way the world's going to continue to be. And so if you base your monetary theory upon the status quo just because that's the way it's always been, I mean, that's doomed to failure. It's Connolly, John Connolly was the Treasury Secretary. I think the same Connolly that was riding in the car with Kennedy. And he's quoted from whatever year it was, 1973 maybe, or I don't know if he was Treasury Secretary under Johnson or whether it was under Nixon. But his famous quote was, he was addressing some creditor nation of ours. And he said, the dollar is our currency, but it's your problem. Because we export all of our inflation. So, yes, in that world where you can export all your inflation, then fine. The unlimited fiat money printing to fund the government theoretically could work, I guess. Maybe not even that. But nonetheless, that is not where we are headed. And so therefore, I think that the idea that the government can just fund itself by just printing money or digitally creating money, and there are not these after effects, it's just nonsense. I mean, we have seen now the horribly detrimental impact on the middle class of 40 years of indiscriminate money printing, and the standard of living decrease that has come from that is, and we talked about it earlier. I mean, it's just horrible, and it's going to continue, and it's only going to get worse because as they create money from whole cloth, then there is more money chasing a static number of goods. And my bachelor's degree is in economics, and it may be from that great academic institution of the University of Nebraska and not Wharton, but I did learn that's a law of economics right there. You can put that on your chart of aggregate demand and supply. If you're going to increase the amount of money chasing a static amount, or God help us, a decreasing amount of goods, the price is going to go up. You know, I'm really going to get off on a tangent for a second, but the Occupy Wall Street people talk about the 99% and all that kind of jazz. Okay, yeah, math, you get 99% versus 1, which I guess is kind of this class warfare thing, but they're not going to get anywhere talking about just the 99%, because the most of that 99% are the people we talked about earlier that are just working and trying to put their kids into college, and how are they going to pay for their daughter's wedding and their nursing home care for their mother and all that kind of jazz. They're not going to show up out of the blue and go march on Washington. I mean, it's just not going to happen. However, maybe a better percentage would be, we are the 22.6%, which is the current, if you use John Williams and his shadow stats, the current amount of the U6 unemployment, those that are underemployed or given up working, or, you know, not just your 9.1 unemployment rate. 22.6% is the true number of unemployment, the people that have no job, have quit looking, or are working part-time just so they can get something, you know, delivering pizzas. Now, if those 22.6%, when they show up, God, who knows what kind of revolution we're going to have. And that day, if we continue down this current path, is coming, because those people have been, you can say, well, I'm making enough money, you know, the wealth effect that Bernanke talks about, because my house has gone up, or my 401k has gone up, so they're printing money, all these assets are going up, and I'm at least keeping up with inflation. Well, good for you, but what if you're part of the 22.6% and you don't have a job, and all of a sudden a gallon of milk is $6, and a loaf of bread is $5, and you're trying to feed your kids? Those are the people that are going to march into Washington, and that's when the Pandora's box is going to be opened. So anyway, this idea that, getting back to your question, I just think is just folly. It's nonsense that we live in this cute little academic fuzzy-headed world where, yes, well, theoretically, yes, we can just continue to print money. The government control it. I don't buy it. Sorry.
Let me throw a qualifier out at you.
Okay.
They only increase the money supply at the rate at which the population increases.
Right. Tell that to the politicians.
That's why you don't give the power to the politicians.
Right.
As Bill Still had suggested in his The Secret of Oz, you create a separate monetary authority.